Honestly, I didn't really have that many expectations. I kind of just came over off the cuff. I sort of committed in June, and obviously I was here in August for pre-season, so I really didn't know what to expect.
My family wanted me to experience different colleges, and when you get to that college, feel the fit. So I was expecting, all right, let me see if I come here and it feels like home, and that's what I found here.
I have an older brother that's gone to college, so I just kind of expected, you know, kind of a big change, but nothing too serious.
Everybody that comes in as a freshman thinks they probably have it all down and have it figured out. I think we find that very quickly they realize that they don't.
It was just, wow, like I'm bright-eyed, I'm happy to be here, wow, I'm just gonna soak it all in, but now it's like, wow, this changed my life and this can determine what my life is gonna be for the rest of my future.
I remember with the feeling when my dad left and got back on the aeroplane, and suddenly I was alone in Fairfield at the Fairfield Inn. I remember that was a really weird feeling. I didn't really know what to expect.
I remember taking a phone call for my buddy's place. We were in the city, and I said, what type of player is he? And he said, well, he's just very composed. He reads the game well. He said the ball came, a goalkeeper took a goal kick and drove it down the length of the field, and Jack took it off his chest and then laid the ball down on the half volley and just solved the problem.
I came back sophomore year. I didn't really do much in England over the summer. You know, I drank too much. I did have a slight injury, but that was just an excuse, really. And I didn't come back in good playing shape at all.
Jack had been home all summer, and he'd come back and he was a little bit overweight coming back in for pre-season, so everyone was calling him like fat boy and stuff, so it was pretty funny.
My freshman year I was very mature, I was very young. The game to me was just probably more so a game.
Taryn is by nature kind of an outgoing person, but I think she's maybe a little bit conservative about letting people really get to know the true Taryn. She's very friendly, but it takes a while for her to let you in.
Probably when I was a freshman, I was kind of a little bit of a nervous mess for a while. I would say I was pretty quiet. I didn't talk a lot. I was kind of laid back, let everyone else do their thing, and just kind of observed, I guess.
She was a silent leader. She obviously was our setter and had to take on that role as running the court as a freshman, which was a really hard thing to do, and she did it really well, and she was so great. But she wasn't very vocal. She was more like a lead by example type of leader.
I think we know that people come here with the tools, but you know, every one of them is different, both emotionally and academically.
You mean the car accident? Yeah, it was a real setback. I remember we just had a great win at Yale. We were on a real high, and then the rest of it's kind of a blur.
It's something that I'll never forget. I was actually there when it happened. It was almost, I can't even say it was something you'd see in a movie, because even in the movies it's not like that.
Last thing I remember was getting a taxi home with my girlfriend. I remember I was trying to walk on the side of the road, so I was like the man and trying to protect her and stuff. So, but yeah, we were just going back for a cab, and that's pretty much the last thing I remember, and then the rest is, I don't remember anything else after that.
And it was just like, in the blink of an eye, he was walking with his girlfriend, and then blinked and he was like 6 feet in the air. It was just insane. I thought for certain that it had killed him.
Honestly, the first thing I said, I think, what I've been told is like, can I go home now? Because I didn't know where I was. I didn't feel any pain, because obviously of all the drugs and everything. So I had blood coming out the back of my head, but I had no idea.
You know, the poor kid's in there. He's got ribs broken and his ears hanging off, and he's got all kinds of stuff going on with his body. But he was always very upbeat, you know. He was having a banter with the lads, and
we joke about it now, to be honest. Talk about like cats having 9 lives and stuff like that, and we joke about how he survived. But it was actually funny because the doctor actually said that if he wasn't so big, he probably wouldn't have survived.
I think it was hard because it's the same position, so you know we both were competing to play. But I think as she was older than me. She was a lot more mature. She understood that like that's the way it goes, it's how it goes, and she she showed me that it's not about competing, it's about, you know, it's who should be on the court, it's about team, not an individual person, and I think that definitely helped me.
And there's always going to be someone out there better than you, no matter what it is, so, you know, experiencing that at this level, I think, helped me, and, you know, just being able to adjust and find some other way to contribute to the team, whether it's in athletics or in your real job.
To be honest, at the end of the year, she was one of the seniors that I said, you know, I'm going to work hard for her. She's on my team and she's one of the seniors. I want to be like her when I'm a senior. So I think that's our relationship now.
They know and understand that if you're going to be at Fairfield University, and if you're really true to what the mission of the school is, you're looking for more. You're looking for more than just what is happening in your athletic season, and you're looking to have your student athletes be much more involved in the fabric of the university.
I haven't had the best childhood, so I've always wanted to help my family and myself see better days, and if that was providing financially or being able to just take my family on a vacation so they can just be happy, like seeing my family happy and seeing my dad and my mom come to the games and see me play and seeing them cheer, just seeing their smile on their faces, something that does something for me inside that words can't even explain.
I always knew that when her parents were there or any family members were there, it gave her a little extra. You know, there's no doubt about it. In fact, I would kid her and say, I think I need to get some cardboard cutouts of your mom and dad, and we can take those on the road and put them up in the stands whenever they're not there, because I think you're good for at least 5 more points and 5 more boards.
He's gave me an opportunity that I might not have been able to have. And in this opportunity, I've learned so much about myself and grown as a person and tremendously. So when I think of that, I relate that back to him. He helped in so many ways for me that I can't even explain.
You come in as a freshman, not everyone has a fabulous work ethic. And honestly, I don't think Taryn, when she first came in, knew how hard she could work. And I think that the beauty part is that year after year, we saw her grow into the player that she could be and the young woman that she could be.
It keeps me going. When I'm in the gym, it's like I'm working hard so I can be better than them. So that when I come out on the court and I'm against that person that's working hard, I won't be the one that's like going down and the loser.
I've never been more driven to do anything in my life. I remember the first sort of week or two, I obviously couldn't do much, but I remember as soon as I could start doing anything, whether it was standing up for the first time, walking for the first time, you know, gradually became into a run, strengthening the leg again. I've never been more determined, especially when they're out there training every day and playing, and you've been playing all your life. And yeah, I was certainly focused.
He's a funny one. Like he's not the quickest in the world. He can't strike an arrow of a long ball. He's not particularly quick on the turn but he's like a jack of all trades, but he really gets the most out of himself.
The rehab was tough, you know, but my goal was always just to get back playing again because, you know, I knew the program had given me so much, given me the opportunity to be here, you know, and I was basically sitting on their dime.
I'll never forget, we played Iona at Iona for the opening game of the MAC season, and Jack was in a wheelchair and they pushed him to the side of the pitch.
I chased the ball down the channel, which is rare for me anyway, and the ball went out of play and I just seen him sitting there, and I started crying on the field because I was so happy that he was all right, but just still seeing the state of him was just brought all the memories back from what we'd seen on that night.
Pretty bad timing to show up right before the game, like surprised everyone.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because you saw your dad, like, there's like a hill, he was trying to wheel you down the hill. And, like,
oh yeah, I remember that. When you're in season and you're out there training with them, running with them every day and lifting, and suddenly you're taken out of that, it's kind of it's not a nice feeling at all. So just to even be there, be on the sidelines was something, because you really do start to miss the camaraderie and the togetherness of being in a soccer team.
I mean, I love the kid. His headed goal against Siena in extra time. He takes advice on the chin. You know, when he's met, you know, when I dropped him from, you know, for the St. John's game, or whether I expressed to him one summertime that he needed to really commit himself to the strength and conditioning in the off season, And prior to coming into this season, when I said, listen, my readers, you're up against it now to be a starter, and you've got to start dealing with that, he takes it on the chin and he goes about solving the problem.
And you know, everyone in life's going to be met with challenges, and I've always felt like, especially if I compare everything to football, you're not going to get everything you want. You're not going to, you know, I'm not going to play for England at 16. I'm not going to play for the first team at Bournemouth at 16. I'm not going to maybe get in the Fairfield starting lineup, you know, away at St John's when the coach hasn't seen me play. But I feel like I've always been confident enough to meet that head on and try and prove myself.
We want to see them take advantage of all of the things that are offered by Fairfield University so that when they leave as a senior going into the world, that they really feel that they are the best prepared to make their mark in the world.
I think I was going to be a biology major, and then that changed pretty fast. And then I was thinking politics, and I don't know, ended up with economics. My advisor freshman year kind of pushed me to take an economics class because I was interested in politics and math, and he said that was kind of like the combination, and then I took just the microeconomics class, and I really liked it, so I just kind of continued with it.
Really? Yeah, she got her PhD from Yale. What? Yeah, I mean, she's very qualified.
Really? Oh, that's so interesting, because someone at this table could also get her PhD from Yale.
She obviously puts school first, which some athletes do, some don't, but they're really important to her. She works hard in school, she studies, she gets good grades, she does all she needs to do, and she's always thinking of the next step. And like now, obviously we're graduating, she's thinking about grad school, so she's always ahead of the game when it comes to what she's supposed to be thinking about.
They kind of brought me out of my shell, I guess I would say. You know, just having people around you all the time and people that you trust really helps you as a person develop.
When necessary, she will definitely speak up. So I think that's what changed. She's taken more responsibility as a leader instead of maybe she didn't know it back then and she was just kind of going with the flow. But I think towards the end, she kind of knew that she was a leader and someone to look up to.
There's been a few times where in the middle of the game, you know, she doesn't say a lot, but when she does say something, it's very meaningful and powerful. It's, you know, just a few words. And you know, when we're struggling in games and she's like, okay guys, you know, we just got to step it up. It's very calming and you feel like, okay, if Lauren Baumer is saying something, you know it's powerful, you know it means something.
Like, okay, I could be good, I could be better than what I thought or what everyone else thought I might be. And from there, it was like, okay, well, I can turn this into a career. I've always dreamed of playing overseas, but that was the reality of it. Wow, I can make my dream come true.
Takes a three from the top of the key, too long. Johnson hauls down the rebound, back up with it, and Fairfield's on the board.
And that's what Tara Johnson does best. She creates opportunities for this Fairfield team.
You know, as players start to see the end of that rainbow, their 4-year eligibility, you know, they have to come to terms with, well, have I put everything into this that I possibly could, and I want to make sure that my senior year is as good as possible. And I think that as she saw the end of things, she said, you know what, I want my senior year to be as good as it possibly can be, and I think she really dedicated herself towards that.
January 20th, senior forward Tara Johnson became the 25th Stag in program history to score 1,000 points.
Before I was even flourishing or getting as much recognition in college, just going back to my community, going back to my high school and talking to the principal, and the fact that I'm in college is I'm doing better than the majority of my graduating class. My high school was really behind me, the principal of my school was really behind me, but to see her proud of me just for doing that, and she always told me to keep going, that I can do it, I was going to be the name for her. You were going to put this school on the map, like she would always say that, and being able to go back with the degree is to show everyone in my community, all the kids at Brockton High School, that it can be done.
What he's been through will prepare him for he's not going to be overwhelmed by whatever he faces down the road. You know what I mean? I mean, honestly, he's had a near-death experience, so I'm not exaggerating. There's not going to be a job interview or a domestic issue, a family issue that he will shy away from. You know, I think he's kind of cut his teeth on learning about life whilst he's been here.
This graduate student has anchored the Stags defense throughout his career, helping the Stags become one of the top defenses in the region. His consistency and skills have been instrumental in the Stags being able to shut down some of the top scoring programs in the region. Over his career, the Stags have posted more than 25 shutouts. For his efforts, he was recognized as a member of the MAC All-Rookie team in 2007, as well as the conference's All-MAC First Team in 2009. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Cleverly.
To be honest, I think if there's one person on our team who was probably going to be a millionaire, I'd probably say it was Jack Cleverly.
You know, I'd always just assumed I'd play every day. When it's taken away from you and you literally can't stand up, you know, it's quite a sobering thought. And it's weird, my grades picked up after the accident. You know, I felt like I was a nicer person all round, if that makes sense. This really made me hone in on what I wanted to do.
To come into a whole different atmosphere, a different community of people, and to build relationships and make it your home and become comfortable, and then to have to venture off into something different, it's just overwhelming a little bit. To know that this place has been home for me for 4 years straight, and the fan base and the support system, to have to leave that behind it's very hard.
I'm definitely gonna miss it. I feel like it was just yesterday I was a freshman, and now it's senior year, and I'm just gonna miss playing here and playing with these girls a lot. You spend a lot of time with the program, with these girls, and you know, it kind of helps shape who you are, you know, not just on the court, but off the court. And I think it's changed my life, kind of.
But I feel like I'm ready to move on and maybe grasp some new opportunities and see what I can do.
I'm more than ready. I feel very, very ready. I'm ready for the next step. I'm ready to be bright-eyed again, and I'm ready to take what I've learned here and apply it to the next step in life.